right, my dudes. Let's get some folks in here. Look at that. It's top of the thing there. Let's bring the microphone in. You guys can hear me. One more day. One more day, and I get to come back home, get into having a good conversation with you guys. Open mic tonight. We're going to get some folks in here, live stream, get back into some produced content later this week. What's up, Selfred? How's it going? Got a GPU here. Met up with some people here in Boston. Was pretty cool. I know there's a few more people that still want to meet up. I'm trying to see. I'm out wheels up on Thursday this week, in the morning. Maybe tomorrow night I can meet up with some other folks. But it was a good meet. Had one of the folks bring me a GPU. We got a 3070 here. We're going to do a proper test with. When ETH 2.0, I bet you May of next year. That's my prediction. They still got a lot of work to do, guys. They got that last video I had there was trying to articulate the current schedule that they're looking at when it comes to the remaining items that they have left. Getting a merge, working with a few clients is a milestone. That's why I did the video, but I still think they have there's quite a bit of work still to do, and that's going to take some time for them to get that out to a proper dev net, and then people can start hitting it. And then you just look at the normal schedule that happens with any of these releases that they have right now, and you're looking at least 6 months. So, the ETH team moving that date to May is, I mean, it's not pushing the can down the road. It's just active planning. It's what it is. I mean, so they got to be. They don't want to keep doing it because it's like a symbolic thing. So like if they only moved it to December, or if they're about to do another fork, if they were to move that that difficult bomb to, like, let's say March, and then they're not all the way there, then they got to move it again, right? So them doing it by May gets them, a little more runway, because they have to address it. You have to address the difficult bomb. The network has a large impact. If you don't adjust that, it slows down the blocks, which then if you have, maybe I should come back a little. So one of the questions, and somebody was asking, what's up with the difficult bomb? So in Ethereum, if you don't understand, it has a mechanism. It's called a poison pill. And it was to, at some point, whenever they were going to try to kick the miners off the network, they have a function built into it that after so long, it disjoins the difficulty of the network predicated on the hash power that's on it, which means as more people start to mine, difficulty adjusts to try to keep the block time set at 15 seconds. When you disjoin that with the difficulty bomb, it now is not predicated on the hash power that's on the network that keeps that block time locked at 15 seconds. It now is incrementally going up over time, which then causes the blocks to be longer. So if hash rate isn't coming online fast enough to keep up with the difficulty adjustment, then you end up having blocks that take like 30 seconds, not 15 seconds. And what we would feel as miners, while blocks would still be processed in 30 seconds, you're now getting half of what you would normally get from your pool payouts, because it takes the pool twice as long to be able to get payouts, because maybe they're only earning so many blocks now. Maybe one pool only earns one block every 10 minutes versus, every 15 seconds gives them 4 options every minute to win a block. Now they're only getting 2 options to win a block every 1 minute, or, every 1 minute, because it's every 30 seconds. So it's an impact that disjoins the network, and then eventually it gets to the point that where now you have block times that are almost a minute long when they were supposed to be 15 seconds, and then that starts impacting like applications that are on Ethereum. Like people are trying to get things processed. So the difficulty bomb, they have to move because it was set to go off after so many, and so many blocks. So they have to keep pushing it until it's time to get rid of mining on the network. So it's just kind of some back history for anybody that's not tracking why Ethereum would have a difficulty bomb in there in place. And again, it's what they'll leave in there for us to make sure that we're not mining the Ethereum network. It would become, in theory, it would become so hard you would never earn a block, and thereby you have no incentive to mine the network. So that was the kind of to wean people off from creating the longest chain on Ethereum as they move it over to proof of stake. So they'll keep kicking that down the road until they're ready to go with the merge, and then we'll see if they still need to use something like the difficulty bomb at the end of the merge, or if just, there's some kind of incentive that is where miners will continue for a certain period of time and then tail off. So the merge is an interesting thing because it hasn't. What happens at the merge has not been fully vetted. Like, we really don't know, and I don't think the developers know exactly how they're going to handle removing the miners. They could keep the difficulty bomb in place, or they could create this incentive where the merge kicks off and miners would still stay on, quote unquote, a network, earning small amounts of rewards until it just tails off. So after they know everything is well on Beacon, and it would take it over, and now you would have consensus being done on proof of stake at that time, and there was no hiccups, they could then deprecate maybe in a future update the proof of work mining. So you would technically have kind of what we have right now, where proof of stake right now is creating empty blocks and the acetations are running, and you have this network right now creating a very small micro reward for all the people that have vested their Ethereum in 32 coins per node. They're earning right now. So Ethereum is actually inflating on both the proof of work side and the proof of stake side, even right now. It's just you can't withdraw anything from proof of stake. So it's going to be interesting to see if those kind of flip sides for a little bit, and that's what ends up being chosen when the merge happens. If they're going to keep proof of work chain going for a little bit of time that is incentivized, as they make sure the proof of stake is working. As a betting person, I would bet that that's probably what they'll end up having to do, not because miners are going to revolt or anything like that, purely because it's one of the safest options. And if you actually operate or are part of any kind of application development stack, or any kind of, if you've had any experience around sunsetting an existing system in the industry, like if we're talking an enterprise industry, there's different ways to do application rationalization. And one of those ways that are very popular is that you have both systems kind of stood up at the same time, and then at some point you get some users on one side, and then you end up sunsetting the other system. That's the kind of same version of this for cryptocurrencies, like for a situation where you have like a change in a consensus piece there. So, it's on a tech, like a boss dropping a 20 spot. 20 is still a 20, but not a Bitcoin. I hear you, my dude. Good to see you on here, buddy. Big money. That's really what we're looking at. So I'm going to take a safe assumption that latter discussion there is that the ETH developers are going to they're going to choose a way to sunset the proof of work than just the hard cut. Having that difficulty bomb in there was a way to do it, to de-incentivize people off the network. Technically, that's still kind of the same way that I'm talking. You would have a transition with the merge. You would still have miners mining. The blocks would still be producing Ethereum predicated on the rules. And then you would have a situation where both are running, and then one is just getting slower and slower and slower, and none of the execution is happening. Actually, we're going to be mining empty blocks just slower and slower and slower as the difficulty bomb continues to go up. Or they can have it where there is no difficulty bomb, and you were just mining for a certain period of time, as to they have confidence that ETH2 merge has occurred and everything's good. all the reports are out and everybody's like, yep, function apps are good, all this stuff. And then you'd have a deprecation of the proof of work chain. I am betting that's the way they'll end up going, just understanding the system as it is right now. But, my word's not, bond there in any kind of way. It's just this is one of many options that they could be doing. I just think that that's the safest approach because you have kind of both parties being able to make sure that the chain, if that's the most important thing, which it is, stays operational and everything still kind of works. You have both consensus, operating to where if you have to fell over real quick over to the other consensus, you could. So Dwayne Reynolds saying your content is worth it, dropping another 20 spot. Look at my dudes dropping some cheddar out there. Thank you guys. We do appreciate any donos coming like that. I put it right back into the channel. You guys know that. We try to bring you guys great content. We're gonna be doing CES this year. We already got that kind of set up. We got where we're staying. I'm trying to actually expand that to where I can actually invite a couple other folks out there to CES. We have a pretty decent place out there in Las Vegas. And I want to bring a couple other content creators to be able to go out to CES out there with us. So Son of Tech, hit me up, my dude. Might have to find a spot for you there. That way you can run your content from there. CES is a really good time, and it's it gives you that kind of bleeding edge of where things are at from the industry and tech stack in general. And they do have crypto and an entire crypto chain that's of events that are out there, an actual entire part of a hotel that has a lot of different implementations and things. A lot of the exchanges come out there and stuff, so it's a pretty interesting thing to go. We got the crypto cruise coming up with Ravencoin. I'm actually going out there. Tron Black and a handful of developers are going to be on that. I'm heading out for that, heading down to Miami in mid-November for that. So I'll be on that for 10 days. I think it's like 10 days, like 8 days, something like that. It's something crazy. It's long. But I'm going to be trying to produce content when I'm on the boat. We'll see if the upload is worth anything out there. I think a few stops that we'll have will be able to get enough bandwidth to upload some content. So that'll be some good content. When I go out to CES, I'll be bringing the team out there, the BBT team. And that should be interesting. So you guys will see BBT Samantha out there, and you'll see BBT Vanessa and BBT Todd should be out there. We should have a whole crew out there out in Vegas for that. And then we're going to be doing obviously the farm, catch back up at the farm. We got immersion going on there. BBT Todd's been working hard on that and showing you guys kind of a checkpoint of where we're at on that and just bringing you guys up to speed of where we've progressed on that. And that's actually sooner than later. So I've been gone for 10 days. I fly back on the 11th day, which is on Thursday, and gonna spend some time at home for a bit and then get out to the farm probably before the cruise, which is mid-November. So very tight schedule. And we might actually go up and see one of the larger I need to coordinate it. Right now it's looking like December, but I might be heading up to Canada to go check out DMG's blockchain setup up there. So a large crypto farm, like a very large farm up in Canada. We're going to be taking a little visit up there. And amongst all of that, we're still working on the crypto-related services that we're on ramping. I did a video a couple days ago. You guys responded wonderfully. We had a lot of folks reach out to us saying, "Hey, I'm looking for these kind of services," and we're working through that. So everybody that has responded to me is in. We have them in as JIRA tickets, and you guys are going to be called and followed up on. We're working through that right now as we're on ramping a few more people. So it should be good to go. Yeah, Son of Tech, my dude. I'm gonna be down in Texas sometime in January too, I think. How dare you do anything else besides making videos, folks say. Yeah, so we're trying to do a lot of good stuff, and I was wanting to do a video with you guys last night, couldn't make it last night. Was super busy with stuff here, so but I made sure that I could get enough time to have a video tonight with you guys and just kind of go through the stack of things that are coming up. Obviously, we got the 3070. We're going to be covering on that. We got an entire build for BBT Ray that's been literally sitting there, and I know he's biting at the bit to get in there and do a video with you guys. Now, that's going to be a longer series video. We may do the live stream of that on Twitch because it's literally, I'm going to try to do it like our old school videos. Anybody that's been following us for a long time, where I used to do like 2-hour build videos, and it was like everything with the build in general. Like if you had no experience at all, that's essentially where Ray's coming in. He's going to be building it, and we're going to be rolling the mic and camera right there next to him as he's doing it, and just kind of answering as he starts to build it in front of you guys. That way you guys have that content to refer anybody that's not mining but wants to mine on how to do that with GPUs. So it should be pretty sweet. Richard Pork, woo, Canada, I hear you, my dude. So yeah, that should be a hoot. Cheers from Rockville, Maryland. Says Augusta. Nice. You guys got some. I didn't know if anybody else was streaming or anything. I just kind of went live. It was kind of like I didn't even check. I barely even checked Twitter today. In the last few days, it's been kind of nuts. And like just cheap power in Texas, right? And somebody says, "Oh, I'm going through this right now. We're looking at we're going to be building a colo and it's going to be an event, and these things take time. You know, you got to get power purchase agreements in place. You got to get hardware ordered and stuff, and then be able to bring some services to you guys like that. But it's we're finally making a move to start to set that structure up to be able to do that for you guys and just be another option out there. You know, like I've been in this space for a long time, and you know, really looking to expand in services quite a bit for you guys. Let's have some conversation though. I haven't the ETH one spawn. It was a question that out there. I mean, you guys, what are the questions you guys got out there right now? This is kind of an open agenda night tonight. If you have things that you have questions on in the space, big things happening on the channel. Says Litcher. Yes, yes, it is. We're actively doing stuff. Yeah, you guys come up with some stuff, and we'll go through it. I was wondering your opinion on the iPolo team. I saw the G1 mini review, and you've spoken briefly to him. Did you get to talk machines, the V series, and ETH miners? Thoughts? Asked Luther. So yes, I have talked to the iPolo folks. They were out at Miners Disrupt. They had the whole selection of stuff that they had there. A couple of those cases were empty. It was just like you could pick it up and it was light. There was nothing in it on the ETH miner. And they had the G1 and the G1 Mini. We have the G1 Mini. It's been running. I actually haven't checked it in a while. We might check that in here in a little bit, but it was outperforming what I wouldn't say it's design spec. It was doing the right grafs per second, but it was we have been very lucky. Let's just say that on winning blocks because I'm solo mining on 2 miners with it right now. So it's performed exactly within specification. They had, I think it was 849 was the rate on that box, and it's almost made that in almost 3.5 months. So I've had it since or 2.5 months. It's almost made its ROI, but we've been averaging around 66% luck, which is really good. Anything under 100% means you're outperforming what you should be doing. And that's in Grin. So those are Grin miners. They had said that their ETH miner would be maybe available within the next month. I've been pushing them to see if I could get even just a temporary look at it, if it's a demo, and I send back, and I'll let you guys know from an availability. I would have taken an assumption that it's going to be really hard to get that from a retail standpoint. They're just going to have people buy it, especially now that you have a situation where it really looks like Ethereum mining is going to be around for another 6+ months. It's 6 to 8 months. So any kind of mining machines for Ethereum right now, the Phoenix, the Lindsay stuff, all that is still going to continue. Yes, is Hi Carter wondering about the immersion cooling? Will you be able to update us about the progress on the BBT farm coming up? Yes. So I get back. I'm going to be at the house for a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. because you're coming into the end of October. Miss BBT's birthday is at the end of October, so got to be there for that, my dudes. And then you got Halloween. Uh, so having kids, you're gonna. I mean, I'm part of that, so we're gonna be taking care of that. And then so that first week, right now, notionally, it would be the first week of November that I would get back up to the farm for a few days. That's what it's looking like right now. So it would be that first week of November, shooting up to the farm for a few days, doing a check where PBT Todd's at right now on the build for the immersion stuff, and then helping where I can to get it a little further along. So it's really just kind of weighing between setting up the different company stuff that we're doing, and we were waiting on a few other parts too. So now I think we got everything that we need for it. It's just a matter of doing the work. And since we're doing the work and we're not paying for people to do the work, we bought the stuff and we wanted to build it ourselves. So it was more of a crawl, walk, run that we were doing with that, not a just how fast can we build it thing. So that's why you guys haven't seen really much of an update on that, is waiting for a few parts and then starting to go back into that build that I can do in the 1st of November. And then I'll be on the Raven Coin cruise in the mid-November. We come back from that. It gets into around Thanksgiving time in the U.S. So we'll probably have a good set of videos right there before that. And then when we get into December, if we're going up to DMG blockchain, that'd be like the first or second week of December, which would put us up in Canada in December. It's gonna be cold. Kind of can't wait for it, actually. And we'll check out an actually a very large Bitcoin mining farm and check out their stuff. And then we'll be heading to CES in the first week of January. So that's kind of the current schedule. It's going to fly, and I'm excited for it to bring it to you guys. I can't wait for CES again. Because we didn't, for COVID, we didn't get to go for 2021. And remember, we were there for 2020. So right before they shut everything down, uh, BBT team was there in CES in 2020, and then in like March is when everything shut down. So 2021 did not have it had a virtual CES, and then this year for 22, it's back to doing CES again. Bro, when's the beers? Where's the beers? Yeah, I know I should be. I have nothing in here right now. I'm just terrible. I actually need to go out and get something after this. I just wanted to have a good video with you guys. Do you see a future in GPU mineable cryptos? Do you think the industry will try to kill assets via ESG perspective? Yes, I think that there is a future for GPU mining cryptos. I think that's not going away anytime soon. I think the narrative when it comes to ESG concerns will, as the tip of the spear. So crypto mining in general pushes the edge of what's possible, I believe, in the energy space. So Bitcoin mining right now is creating this large incentive to move to renewable. So it has the right incentive mechanisms in place to push industry into the lowest possible cost denominator. So if you want to be competitive in this space, it becomes the tip of the spear in that. So there is no other key initiative for any other power users in general. Like if you're a data center or you're somebody that's using an absolute crap ton of power, it's a matter of a requirement of having power, not that your entire well-being is predicated on other people that are also having to go for power. Thereby your power cost becomes your one factor from an ops expense is one of the most important things, which then drives you to find your cheapest power alternative, which is if I don't have to go and extract it and go through a large refinery process, what's a more simpler solution when you start talking renewables? So it's driving that edge to that space. And that's where I think in general this space goes to when tackling that ESG kind of concern, where it's saying, well, this is going to drive and fund a lot of those initiatives that make renewables become more of a front and center thing. It's the inverse of that argument where they're heavy power users, so thereby it's just terabad, and people are like, oh, it's just using up too much power. And it's like, well, it's also innovating in this space to try to bring cheap power that's renewable to the space. I meant what's good for Boston meetup beers. Jay, maybe tomorrow, my dude. I think you hit me up on. I met some people on what was that Monday night? Was that last night? I'm so lost. Sunday night. I actually met some people Sunday night. And here in Boston. Just hit me up on. I think you hit me up on Twitter. We'll see if we can find. We can see if we can find a spot tomorrow evening. Because I'm wheels up on. I'm wheels up on Thursday morning. I've been trying to meet some people out here in Boston when I'm out here, and when I make some of these trips to the different areas, we're gonna see if we can coordinate that better. BBT Samantha, you guys will meet her probably Monday when we'll have a video out there. We'll introduce you to her. She's really helping me kind of organize just schedules and getting videos and stuff out when it comes to content and all that kind of stuff. So if we're traveling, we'll try to get where we could do some meetups and stuff with folks when we're out. BBT, what do you think about Raptorinium? Well, I can't pronounce it, so I don't know much about it. Interest from that end. Thanks for. Is that the CPU mining? So I don't know. We don't mine it, and I haven't looked into it yet, my dude. See Fred Fox Crypto here. I need to add Son of Tech on here as a. Did I add him as a elevated user, as it were, admin? I'll have to do that. I got Nemesis. What's up, my dude? See Nemesis on here. Says, yeah, that's a CPU mining coin, really profitable. Yeah, I don't. Usually, if it's, I don't know where it's exchange at. Does it have any kind of a decentralized exchange that it can work with? Raptor Inium, M, Raptor That's how I've been saying it, or Raptor coin. Sweet J, yeah. Awesome, my dudes. I know you guys got some more questions. We're gonna have a more comprehensive video on where Ethereum is at. I know a lot of people have been tracking that. I have another one on that I've been writing the script for that has to do with other platforms. So it's a more comprehensive view of all the current platform plays when we're talking Atom, uh, with the Cosmos network and Tendermint's, underlying back end, and then Avalanche, um, Solana, and Polkadot. I haven't done a deep dive on Cardano yet. I just haven't taken the time. It's like there's a lot to bake in with Cardano. But those other ones that we're looking at from a different series of things when it comes from NFTs to publishing apps on it, like just an overview, as it were, for value proposition and that sort of thing for coins. And now you can't mine those coins, but it's still giving some depth of field on the crypto space. Jam asking with a $5 super chat, thank you, sir. If you had the money, would you get an ASIC miner over GPU when it comes down to profit? No. ASIC mining, GPU always allows you to do a speculative mine, which means that you have a sunk cost into a GPU that holds a value for other things. So at a minimum set from a risk aversion standpoint, GPUs are always the way to go. Just because you can always resell your GPU. Aside from that, the ability to generate or any kind of revenue from it, you can swing to a lot of different types of different algorithms and different coins that have spikes in prices, that if you mine for a bit and have a growth in that, you are a service provider, you get earn the coin and you have the right to sell it. If it spikes and you catch a spike, then you would have made a lot more than usually potential in ASIC network that doesn't have huge swings. It's a lot more linear growth and profit pattern with ASICs, and it all comes down to, can you get the ASIC first ahead of anybody else, and do you have the option to mine and earn most of your ROI back in those first few months when you first get the ASIC. ASICs are hard to earn your income back after they've been in the wild for a while and you have more and more production of them. It has much more of a linear kind of track on growth of the network, and thereby it takes profit. And usually it takes, parabolic rises to offset that, where GPU markets are very their ebb and flow is a lot different. And that you can just look at the different swings in powering things down, and the reason for that, people are always come back to me like, I don't understand, it is all should be the same. It's not, because an ASIC is fixed to a particular algorithm, thereby it's only using for that particular algorithm, so it's not jumping around in any way. Where And you have the option on the GPUs that where you can use them for other things. And sometimes people will mine one coin or another coin. It kind of swings with profit. So you have these interesting times where with the GPU, you can catch a dip in a network hash rate. I'll give you an example. Things like Ubik. We used to mine Ubik a lot. Ubik right now, you can get a lot of Ubik for your hash rate. Ubik sitting around 31 cents or so. It was at $6 at one time. So you're earning a lot more yield with your GPU. You can put a few cycles on that for a week, earn a handful of Ubik, and then if you would have done the math on 31-cent Ubik right now, it's less profitable to mine than something like Ethereum by a lot, but you can earn a lot of Ubik for your hash rate. So if Ubik swings back at some point back to all-time highs, then it would have been much better to mine that during that time. So you can do these kind of speculative plays with your GPUs and swing across different algorithms. So GPUs always, that's why I mine with GPUs. That's why I talk and help you guys educate. It's also barrier to entry is a lot easier. And you can walk into a store sometimes and purchase one. So your buying experience is a lot less cumbersome. Now there's some efforts, the stuff that like Compass is trying to do with the mining at home, giving you an option to buy a ASIC, but they're very expensive. These are, if you were spending $10,000 to $15,000 on an ASIC, like you can buy several GPU mining rigs. I mean, our one very expensive 3090 mining rig, single rig, but like those will hold a lot of that value for a while. So yeah, I mean, it's always GPU all the way, personally. So let me ask, what about Axe Infinity? So I've seen it on the market. That's a game, I believe, right? So that's the back end for a game, and it's got a token associated to it. And haven't really looked into it. BBT Vanessa is working on a NFT video and talking about NFT networks and like Engine Coin and some of these ones that are supplemental tokens that support for like game assets. That is going to be a comprehensive video that's going to go through all that, and we're going to definitely cover that aspect of things, which that video might answer that Axe Infinity. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Shameless plug. When are we having a BBT pool? Yeah, maybe after we get these other services and stuff done, maybe at some point we'll work a branding deal with somebody that actually is really good at a pool, and maybe you'll have a BBT pool at some point. But like, it's a lot of work. It's to do a pool right and confidently accurate when you're coming to be a competitor in an international space like this, to get any kind of inertia of having people move over to it. It's not just about name recognition of any sort, it's also about the integrity of the pool with the ability to deliver you a good result, right? So the epic teams that are part of, if it's Fluxpool or it's Ethermine, these are like now world class operations, right? They're MEV extracting, they're doing things that are bringing value and consistency to the miners. I mean, things are on a whole other level. This isn't ran out of basements anymore when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially with the amount of people now that are in this space. So to take on just a pool is not just spinning up some Amazon Ansible scripts and firing up your latest pool. Unfortunately, it's quite the effort. And if I got involved into something like that, I'd want to do it at its nth degree to make sure that it's right and righteous for you guys. And that's a hard one to tackle right now. Have you tried the RTX 4A 4000? No, I have not. I have not tried that one. If that's the one with the HBM2, I want to say that thing does like 174 mega hash on Ethereum. Any thoughts on two miners BTC payout for ETH mining? It seems like a good value. Hey, you know what? Um, any way that these pools can help get you guys the payouts that you have, if they're doing a conversion for you. I mean, for a long time there was an old pool I used to mine to for like FTC and Litecoin and stuff. I think it was called Waffle Pool, and they gave that option where you could get BTC, and it ended up being one of the best options ever in the grand scheme of things over a long period of time. Is we got payouts in BTC back then, and this was like 2014, 2015 time frame. Old waffle pool for any of you old dogs out there that remember some of the old good pools back in the day. They used to do that. Auguste Cortez, would you be interested in hosting a network event for miners and suppliers? I have a small business building rigs and selling GPUs, so it would help. We're looking into that. So, Crypto World, I'm affiliated now with Crypto World in St. Charles, Missouri, retail location. And any suppliers or any kind of vendors that are on this stream, or actually will see this stream later, that are interested in any kind of like deals like that. Like there's a retail location right now out there in St. Charles that is, educating people that have, normal retail sell space, and also are looking at event planning. So they're really taking on the event planning piece of the BBT piece of that operation when it comes to like event planning and stuff. And I think we're gonna do a small kind of meetups. They do a crypto and coffee a couple times a week. I think actually it's one time a week on Mondays. For just small meetups in St. Louis, but they're looking to kind of expand that type of option and view to get people that are interested in it. And it's not just, hey bro, I heard about crypto, I want to know more. It's like folks that are in the space that are actively doing stuff in the space in some capacity. It could be just one rig and they have a pretty good comfort level with that, but just, financially they could just do the one rig for right now, to pairing people that have the financial capacity and understand just enough but are looking for some assistance. That's what those kind of events are really good for people that are passionate to get and talk to each other and figure out what they can accomplish together. Those are key things. And then what you're bringing up, Augusta, is really key. Is what a vendor that you can get things from. Supply chains and that sort of thing are so important right now in this space, because it's very hard to find certain things that you want, not just from a GPU standpoint, but just from just a reliable seller and somebody that actually either has inventory on hand. So yeah, any way to get that information over to folks, you can reach out to the crypto world folks. They're looking to help, have a conduit for people to be able to do business and stuff through. So yeah, supply chains are very important. I'm going through that right now as we're working on this colo thing of finding containers and finding people that just hey, wire me this money. Like, bro, like I'm gonna meet you. We're gonna look at the hardware. It's not just dropping you cheddar without inspecting the goods type of thing. So there's unfortunately the space, why it's on the bleeding edge of the technology stack, and it's really pushing fundamental society level changes when it comes to finance and stuff. It's still operating in some capacities as like literally like, hey, I don't mind the hustle and the grind, my dudes, but like when you're talking like expensive hardware, it's kind of hard to do business in that way. You need to have a little more structure and more confidence in transactions. So yeah, any kind of retail spaces or people that can help align those supply chains. That's part of that effort that we're trying to build right now. It's kind of what Compass did for Bitcoin mining, where they were really linking up people. ASIC Jungle is doing the same kind of thing. There's a few companies out there really trying to be kind of that broker service, but what you're really when you interact with somebody like that, you're really leveraging the supply chain networks that they've established and are working to provide to you as a service. And they get a fee obviously for some of their services, but if it completes the job for you, I mean, that's half the problem and trouble. So um yeah, there should be a good one that you can go out there. Are you still mining 24/7 on Raven? Yes, we do have some rigs on Raven. uh that's been a continuous thing that will be a continuous thing for a very, very long time. As a small miner, how much do you spend on learning how to do your own GPU repairs yourself or versus a trusted repair shop? I mean, the best thing you can do is just try yourself and try it with a smaller GPU. What I've recommended to people that are trying to learn how before they go take apart their 3080, like find like a dead GPU on like eBay, like just search for like not working dead, or find something that somebody has laying around or that you can get access to that's super cheap, 20 bucks. Invest that $20 and find, I don't care what kind of GPU it is, and get that and take it apart. Like try first with something that's dead or doesn't work. Understand on how to disassemble it. Understand on, there's a fan, there's a plug in there. You got to be careful with those. They get brittle when it's been running for a long time. The connectors, just because they're plastic and they get dry air, like a dry rot to them. Like understand that you just can't rip the GPU apart from it. You could actually pull a chip off. You got to kind of, there's some finesse to it. You kind of like wiggle a little and then just kind of pull the GPU apart slowly. Understand the cleaning process and just do that with a GPU that's broke or doesn't work, just to give you the confidence on how to do it. And once you've done that first time, you'll get a lot more confidence on repairing the GPUs yourself. Again, it comes back down to that supply chain thing I was talking about when you're trying to buy like a particular fan or something else that's up with the GPU and trying to replace it. Gets a little sketch if like it actually is bricked and it doesn't work. I mean, that's a little more harder. There is ways to recover those sometimes, but just take the attempt. I always say try to do it yourself. Um, because it's just saving you in cost, and plus it changes the confidence level you have with the hardware itself. You'll understand more around how the hardware works and what potential things could make it go wrong. And most of this community in general learn from each other. So I encourage, since 2013 with building content for you guys, try to encourage people to make videos. Like we have huge amounts of awesome content now on YouTube related to this space because people take the time to sit there and show each other stuff. Thereby, I also learn from other folks from doing that. And I learn from you guys that are out there like, hey, I had that same GPU and I do this. That kind of interchange makes this one of the best communities, hands down, of any community. The cryptocurrency mining community is actually super awesome. Like we have a great community of people out there, and it's because people are all trying to help each other because we're all upholding this network together. And it's the weird aspect that if you looked at everything in a vacuum and you look, the more people that mine means that we get less yield on a particular token. But the funny thing about that is the more people that mine build a higher level of security for that network. So the network security goes way, way up because there's more people mining. There's this amount of security on the network that's just like, wow, that's a crap ton of security. There's more and more people that are on it. It promotes confidence in that network, right? Because it's like, this is a large network. This now we can build stuff on this network because we're not worried about the security side of it. And that's why I've always taken an issue with any of the claims from Ethereum saying that they were paying too much for security. Like it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. You want as much security as absolutely possible for something that is not protected against having less security and somebody could attack it, right? Like you want the most security possible. So the more people that understand on how to do this, more people that can participate, and the higher price discovery goes up in these coins, more people do join the network, right? Because there's a profit to be made for that activity. So it's this kind of this amplifying and growing thing that you can build confidence in a network because there's a lot of people upholding it, and then people will build things on that network because it does have the size and structure and fortitude that gives people confidence to do stuff in it. So that's why I think this community is so well and so awesome, of talking to each other and creating content with each other and stuff, because the people that actually get that go, we want more people onto the network because it gives that, numbers mean things, and it gives a lot more confidence in the network for it. And plus you get these folks that like will try mining and then they'll be like, hey man, like that's cool and all, but that's some time. I'll tell you what, I'll just buy the coin. And because they understand, they've went through the effort of trying to mine and understand the coin. They understand maybe some of the process around with it, and then they're just like, you know what, mining's not for me. Here's the GPUs for sell. I'll buy the coin, and now you have a counterparty. So it's fulfilling the other side of the network that's a purchaser of the tokens that we have. So like we're producing and holding, like we hold quite a bit of coins, and then the parts that we have to sell to pay for expenses, we have a counterparty that's out there now on the exchange side, like buying it, right? And that's part of the whole collaborative, exchange network when it comes to the buyers and the seller side, because you have now people that understand, that have tried to mine and understand on how to mine, and may have made a decision that is not for them, but now they're buying the coin, right? They're not just exiting the space and be like, I'm done with everything, right? You might have a few that got caught in a bear market and just don't have the tolerance for the timing and understand the larger picture of it, and then they just dip out, and then they're kind of burned for a little bit, and then end up being the ones that FOMO in kind of late in the game. But like, it is what it is. I mean, it's just I think it's a circular kind of economy in that kind of aspects. All right, Jay, it sounds good, my dude. See you on there. All right, my dudes, I'm going to wrap this one up here pretty soon. Try to answer a few more questions. Hopefully, you guys like this open format. Usually, I like having some prepared content for you guys, but sometimes, just the workflow and reading your guys' content usually ends up getting really good. Hope you guys are enjoying some of this. I mean, I love talking to you guys, and I obviously know I do this because I have a passion to have this conversation with you guys. I mean, it really does. I like the questions. I like hearing, I like reading through your guys' comments. my dude, I got you. Open is awesome, says Dwayne. Nice, Tyvin. You got your first rig and one GPU today. That's a start. I, I like the rambling myself better. Yeah, sometimes I can do that. You guys should see me at like cryptos and coffee. And thoughts on Dogecoin? I mean, I covered Doge a lot back in 2014, and I thought I understood the vision of Doge at that time of being the meme coin, but it had the inertia of a community. And I think there's a few communities out there that have that kind of inertia that just um you have like your kind of pumps and dumps out there, right? And then you have something that's different. And that thing that's different is when you really have a community get behind a coin for just the premise of getting behind of something and being part of a collective. You know, we're super tribalistic as a society and humans in general. So certain things that are not trying to be you know, they're the exact opposite of what, you know, the structure and community would normally look for. And you get people that kind of come together. It's like, hey, this thing's supposed to be the joke of the thing, and then it would grow. And in 2014, I said that in one of the videos of like, you know, I get it why Doge had inertia and people got behind it. It didn't have to be serious, and it kind of embodied the idea of like Reddit and just you know, the power of community being behind it. So it's gone past, in my opinion, that kind of meme state to where, I mean, it's on almost every major exchange. It has a massive community, and there's been you know, kind of generational change with the community. So you have the original Doge community members, people that have been around it for a while, and maybe have pulled in because of Elon and a few other influence of discussions around Dogecoin. But stuff like Shiba has its like younger generation kind of Wall Street's bets folks in Shiba. Huge unit bias on it where you get millions of coins for next to nothing. And I think that's it works kind of part and parcel with that. So you have kind of two large communities between Doge and Shiba that embody that kind of like community kind of thing that it's just it you could never, it's complete speculation, like complete absolute speculation. However, it's also on every damn exchange. So the enablement has been there and the communities are large enough there that it creates this kind of inertia. So you have these two kind of things that are out there that you know, they could drop quite a bit and have a lot of volatility and swing, but it's stuff that I don't think will go anywhere or go, you know, anywhere with regards to going away. Um, are they going to go to crazy values? Who knows? But like they just have those community aspect to it. The There's a whole bunch of other stuff out there that is absolute, you know, like the TikTok, like let's see how fast we can get it up type of thing, which could leave you completely cut and dry and could go away and nobody would care. Um, you know, stuff like Safe Moon and that kind of stuff reminds me of that, where it's just like there's so much signal and noise around it that's like literally could go away and nobody would know anything about it, right? Like or care. I think Doge is kind of out there for you know, in modern society in such a way that it's not going anywhere. It's going to be there for a long time. Um, and just because of those reasons. Now it could be generational again, and this is a whole thing. Like folks that have been, you know, 20 years from now is the, you know, the younger generation is going to care about that community in such a way where other coins have actually made um, platform adjustments and are filling, you know, functional roles in society in some way where, you know, Doge is just Doge, right? It's just a brand at that time. So we'll see. Latrell with that $5 super chat, my dude. MC says, "LOL, safe moon." All right, my dudes, we're at 53 minutes in here. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I really hope you guys had a good time tonight. It was good. I wanted to have a good hour with you guys, and kind of catch up. And I can't wait to get back. We'll be back in the saddle in on Thursday. We'll have hopefully have a quick video for you guys on Thursday, and then another live stream this weekend. I'm actually taking, I think I'm taking one of the kids. And we're gonna go do some ATV and off road stuff. We'll have helmets and stuff. We'll be safe. But I think I'm going to be going to southern Missouri and having some fun with the Kawasaki Mule. It should be good. and we'll get back to it. All right, my dudes. Don't worry, we'll have more videos and I'll answer some more questions.